Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Coffee with Katie. That was basically just like a mouth of cold foam. I got some cold brew concentrate and some cold foam topping at the store. I'm very excited. In my Fairy Loot mug that says she has the temperament of a deranged goose. First off, we're a little Azrael coded today, but I got my hoodie from Enchanted Oddities. Let me tell you, she had a Shadow Singer hoodie or sweatshirt back in the day, and I've been following her page ever since trying to get it, and instead she just came out with a new Batboy merch, which I'm fine with, but I finally got my Shadow Singer hoodie, and it's beautiful. Look at this, and it even has a little, look, siphon there. It's so cute. I love it. It's also very comfy. I really like the material of this hoodie. It's very soft, very nice. But today's video is going to be my July TBR. I'm trying to do quite a bit of pre-filming because I'm actually going to be out of the country for about 10 days coming up here soon. So I need to do some pre-filming so I can make sure I have content for you guys that's edited and up while I'm gone. So without further ado, let's get into this. So for July, I was having some issues with reading slumps, and then the last couple of months I've had some reads that have kind of tanked for me, and I decided that for July I'm just gonna really heavily lean into books that I think I will enjoy, like fantasy romance. I just want to delve into some fantasy romance to just be able to like get through them, have some enjoyment, not think too hard, not worry about too much, and just go through some hyped books that I've been meaning to get to but just haven't yet. So that's what July is. And the first one I would like to try, because I've been meaning to get to this for a while and I just haven't. I bought the audiobook when it came out. I think I pre-ordered it and I just haven't gotten to it yet. And that is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I've heard great things about this. I've been very interested in reading her To Bleed a Crystal Bloom series as well. But when I saw the cover of this originally, when it was like the indie release, and I saw it was about dragons, I was very excited. So I would love to get to this. I don't really know anything about it other than it is book one in the Moonfall series. It's pretty long. It's like 700 pages, 800 pages, and that it has dragons in it. So let me look. The creators did not expect their beloved dragons to sail skyward upon their end, to curl into balls just beyond gravity's grip, littering the sky with tombstones, with moons. They certainly did not expect them to fall. As a valued elding blade of the rebellion group, Reeves' job is to kill, to complete orders and never get caught. When a renowned bounty hunter is employed by the crown to capture a member of the Eth, Reeves' world is turned upside down. Blood spills, hearts break, and Reeve finds herself at the mercy of the Guild of Nobles, a group of dual-beaded elementals who intend to turn her into a political statement. Only death will set her free. Crushed beneath a mourning weight, Khan took the head of a king and donned his medalled crown. Now on a tireless quest to assuage the never-ebbing ache in his chest, his hunt for Moonshard lures him into the belly of Gore's notorious prison, where he stumbles upon something that rips apart his perception of reality, a shackled miracle with eyes full of rage and blood on her hands. The echo of the past sings louder than the creators themselves, and even Reeve can't ignore the truths blaring at her from a warmer, happier time. However, there's more to this song than meets the eye, and some truths, they're too poisonous to swallow. When the Moon Hatched is a fast-paced fantasy romance for fans of witty banter and strong, sassy protagonists. Beneath the core is an immersive, vibrant world with mysterious creatures, a unique magic system, and a love that blazes through the ages. So it seems kind of vague, but the idea that there's dragons and they became these moons, and it says when the moon hatched. I don't know, it sounds really good. I've heard amazing things about this. People have been raving about it. And Books with Brittany actually really loves this, which I was interested in because it never seemed like her type of a thing. She's, I guess, been getting more into fantasy romance, but she really loved this, and that also spurred me on more to read it. So I hope to get to this in July. We'll also be traveling for the beginning of July, and I don't know what the traveling plan, I don't know how my traveling will affect my reading. I probably won't get much done, if any done, but that's okay. Next one I actually do have a copy of, and that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is the first book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. This is one I've been meaning to get to as well for a very long time. This was the indie edition I got like secondhand a while ago. It's just been sitting on my shelf, and I was very excited about it when I got it. I still am. I'm very anxious to read it. I've heard really good things. but I haven't gotten to it yet. And I believe this is about vampires, but I don't remember the premise. I remembered it when I bought it, you know, but I don't remember now. So the back says, human or vampire, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always, always guard your heart. The adopted human daughter of the Nightborn vampire king, Rhea, carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kajari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. I love tournaments. But winning won't be easy against the most vicious warriors of all 3 vampire houses. To survive, she is forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. I'm assuming that's the love interest. Everything about Rain is dangerous. He is a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competition. Yet what terrifies Araya most of all is that she finds herself oddly drawn to him. But there's no room for compassion in the Kajari, war for the throne of the House of Night brews, shattering everything Rhea thought she knew about her home. Rain may understand her more than anyone, but their blossoming attraction could be her downfall in a kingdom where nothing is more deadly than love. So yeah, again, very vague, but it's got a tournament and vampires and high stakes. I think I'll really like it. I think I will. I've heard great things about it. If I don't like it, I'm gonna be very disappointed because I think high probability that I will like this. Next one is for my buzzword book challenge, but I'm actually really excited about it. So the prompt for July is a measurement, which could be anything. It could be like a teaspoon, or it could be like half, or it could be anything really. Cup, I guess. So I went with Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater because this is also one that I've been really meaning to get to for a long time because this is a historical Regency romance, but it's fantasy. Also, it has fantastical elements. I love that. I've heard really good things about this. Elliot Brooks loved this, and she's not always the biggest romance fan, but she really loved this, and so that gives me a lot of high hopes as well. I've really come to enjoy historical romance. The Regency era like this, I've kind of found a niche where I've really enjoyed that, especially when they're very feministic characters. And India Holton blurbed this. It says, whimsical, witty, and brimming with charm. I also really loved Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia with Fairies, which I feel like is similar. It's a fantasy setting, but it's also more kind of like Regency. It's more academic, I guess, but you know what I'm saying. So I hope to get to this as well. It's pretty short, and I think it'll go by very quickly. I don't remember exactly what the plot is about. It says, it's difficult to find a husband in Regency England when you're a young lady with only half a soul. Ever since she was cursed by a fairy, Theodora has had no sense of fear or embarrassment, a condition which makes her prone to accidental scandal. That sounds great. Dora hopes to be a quiet, sensible wallflower during the London season, but after the strange, handsome, and utterly uncouth Lord Sorcier discovers her condition, she is instead drawn into dangerous and peculiar fairy affairs. If Dora's reputation can survive both her curse and her sudden connection with the least liked man in all of high society, then she may yet reclaim her normal place in the world. But the longer Dora spends with Elias Wilder, the more that she begins to suspect that one may indeed fall in love, even with half a soul. Enter the world of this enchanting debut historical fantasy where the only thing more meddlesome than fairies is a marriage-minded mother. It sounds funny, it sounds cute, it sounds really fun. So I'm very excited for this. Again, just like piling my TBR with things that I think I'm gonna really love and enjoy and be whimsical and fun and dangerous and romantic, just because I really need a break. My brain needs to spur me into reading because of some flops and some reading slumps. It's been a little bit difficult. So things like this that make me excited, I'm all for. The next one is also one that I've been meaning to get to, haven't gotten to, people have been telling me to read it, is The Everking by LJ Andrews, I believe. I also got this on audiobook, and so I've been meaning to get to it soon. I just got it, so it's not like it's been sitting around or anything. But this is book 1 in the Ever series, and it is by LJ Andrews. Heard really great things about this. I know that it is a pirate that is like morally gray, and somebody I was watching, I think it was Honest Fiction. She was explaining it. I've never read the Shatter Me series, but she was explaining like a morally gray Aaron Warner character, but if Aaron Warner was a pirate. And from what I've heard of that, I think I would like Aaron Warner. So I'm intrigued, and I like pirate stories, so a morally gray pirate kind of fantasy romance situation sounds really fun. Not gonna lie. The synopsis says they stole his crown, so he stole their daughter. For years, Eric, the scarred king of the Everkingdom, has thought of nothing but vengeance against the man who killed his father and trapped him beneath the waves. making him a prisoner in his own realm. Until his enemy's daughter unintentionally breaks the chains on the Ever, and Eric makes her the unwitting pawn in his vicious game of revenge. She's innocent, he's vicious, but he will take back what he lost no matter the price, unless she steals his heart first. Welcome to the passionate world of the Ever Kingdom, where pirates, sirens, and fae collide with Vikings in a dark fantasy romance between a villain and the innocent princess who holds his heart. Whoo, that sounds good! I can't believe it's pirates, sirens, and fae with Vikings. That's nuts. It sounds amazing. It really does. And I've heard really good things about it. Some people's like favorite books of the year. This came out in September, I believe, but still. It's like people are reading it, people are loving it. My friend Kayla, she just read it and she was like, it's so good. She gave it 5 stars. So I am anxious to read this and I've been meaning to get to it. So for July, I was like, you know what? July is when I'm going to do all of these things I keep saying I'm going to do, you know? So that's also on the docket. And the next one is one, I don't own it, but it's one of those, it's the next installment in a series that I've been meaning to get to, but the series is vast, but I think if I really dedicated myself to it, I could get through it real quickly. I thought about doing just this series for a month, in fact, but we're not doing that this month. And that is A Soulless of Sharp Claws by Lana Pekarchek. This is book 2 in the Fae Guardian series, but it's the second book in the Wolf Shifter trilogy. So she has many books. Each of the shifters in this world have 3 sets of books. So there's the wolves, the vampires, the elves, and I think she's working on the crows currently. And then she did one about the 6, which is like the Slua, oh my gosh, what's it called? The Wild Hunt. So many books, ample books. I read the first one, I liked it, but that one wasn't my favorite, right? So I think I'll really like the vampire books because you get to see like all of the characters. But I'm gonna have to continue the series because I think they're kind of interconnected. So The Soulless of Sharp Claws is book 2 of the Wolf Shifters, which is the first phase. And it follows the son of the wolf in the first one. Anyway, these are interesting. So they're fantasy romance, but they're also a little bit dystopian, which I did not know or expect when I went into the first one, because you're in a world that's essentially like a second ice age almost. And so it was like cataclysmic events, the world ended, and then there's these women, human mortal women, that are like melting out of the ice and coming alive, and then they're finding their fae romantic partner, whatever. So that happens in the first book, and so it's just going to continually happen the same way, I guess. I don't know. But that's how it happened in the first book, which is not a spoiler. It's the beginning of the book. So now we're going into this guy, and he's going to find his lady. I really know nothing else about the story other than that. I'm assuming she's going to have plots that are interconnected, but also resolved, potentially in trilogies, each having their own problem that they're solving. I don't know, because I haven't read that many of them. But this is book 2. I did like the first one, and I want to read the whole series, so now is the time to read book 2. Let's look and see if it says anything. I don't want to spoil anything, because if it spoils anything about the first one, I'm not going to say anything, but let's see. I also hate the paperback covers. The hardcover covers are pristine, but I don't like the shirtless, chesty, bleh. Yeah, this is definitely going to spoil some stuff because you learned about his son, which is kind of a plot point in the first book, but you're following the son. He hates humans, and he stumbles upon a human woman, and they're forced into marriage, and he hates that. So it's got some forced marriage tropes. It says, a gripping new style of epic fantasy with steamy romance featuring a dash of time travel, monster hunting, fated mates, shifters, fae protectors, and their strong-willed women from our time. If you love books full of turn-paging action, intrigue, and romantic tension, then this book is for you. There you go, in case you were curious. The next one that I would like to get to, if I have time, this one's kind of on the back burner, but if I have time, I would like to get to The Wren and the Holly Library because it just came out, and that is by K.L. Lind, I think is how you say it. And this is book 1 in the Oak and Holly cycle. It seems pretty short, but it says she stole from a monster and now she must pay the price. Street thief Kirst should have known something wasn't right. Now she's trapped in a library with a monster. She can't run, she can't hide, and this man, this being, filled with terrible power and darkness, is well within his rights to kill her. But trespassing Kirst has broken the fragile peace treaty between monsters and humans. But instead of killing her, Graves does the unexpected. He offers her a job. A chance to find out who she really is. Kirsten's always known she's different and she can do things a little better, a little faster, and that there's a sense she has when danger is a breath away. But if the old tales are true, there are worse things in the world than monsters, like a threat more ancient than legend, like graves, or like Kirsten herself. It sounds interesting. I like the idea of like a magical library. It sounds magical anyway, but a library and these like monsters. It sounds interesting. It's pretty vague, like a lot of synopsis, but it sounds really good. And so I would like to give it a shot, especially since it just came out. That way I can, you know, get a review up later than it's out, but you know how it is. So I would really like to get to that as well. And that's a lot of books. So the next one we're just going to do is the shelf pick. I'm leaving myself so much grace for July because if I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to do it, or I'll pick again. Because again, reading slump, I am struggling, so bear with me. You also give me grace, please. But we'll see. So if I don't end up reading it, don't come for me, okay? Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you just gotta live your life. This jar is so full though, and it's very depressing sometimes. I never know if I want to dig or if I want to take on top. Okay. Okay. Here's the thing. I got Ninth Reign, which is right here, by Jen Williams. I think I'll actually really like that book. But I don't know if I have time for that in July. Oh, I think it's pretty long. It's 20 hours long. Okay, here's the thing. We'll leave it. We'll say that it's on my TBR, but realistically, I'm probably not going to be able to get to this. But we'll leave it on. We'll see how it goes. It's right here, in case you wanted to know. What is it about? It is about trees. I used to be able to say what it's about, and it's not sticking in my brain right now. This is book 1 in the Winnowing Flame trilogy by Jen Williams, like I said. The great city of Ebora once glittered with gold. Now its streets are stalked by wolves. Tourmaline the Oathless has no taste for sitting around waiting to die while the realm of his storied ancestors falls to pieces. Talk about a guilt trip. Better to be amongst the living, where there are taverns full of women and wine. When eccentric explorer Lady Vicinia, Vintage de Grazin, offers him employment, he sees an easy way out. Even when they are joined by a fugitive witch with a tendency to set things on fire, the prospect of facing down monsters and retrieving ancient artifacts is preferable to the abomination he left behind. But not everyone is willing to let the Eborian Empire collapse, and the adventurers are quickly drawn into a tangling conspiracy of magic and war. For the Durelia are coming, and the Ninth Reign must fall. I believe the wars are called reigns, and so this is the Ninth Reign. Ellie Brooks loves this series, and it sounds good. It sounds really good. One of the characters, like the guy that's talking about women and wine, I think she compares him to like Geralt, but if Geralt was like full of himself and like a playboy and funny and just silly, and then there's like this other main character and then a witch. So it sounds good. It sounds like it would have a lot of really vibrant characters, and the story sounds really interesting. So hopefully I can get to this. I truly don't think I'm gonna have time for it, but just in case I do, we'll leave it on. That sounds so uncommitted of me. Well, that is what we're hoping to read in July. Hopefully I can get to all of these, if not most of them. But again, I'm giving myself so much grace to be a mood reader in July because I am struggling. But this is the plan. So I'm very excited. A lot of these sound really fun and things I've been wanting to get to for a while and just haven't. So I'm pretty excited about this one. It's giving me some hope. I would love to know if you're excited about me reading any of these or what you're planning on reading in July. But for now, that is it for today's video. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time. Stay safe and caffeinated. Bye.